Now then, the year was 1965, and everybody had suddenly become very fashion conscious. But Eli, he was still wearing his old D-Mob suit. And of course, you know, he left the army 20 years, so not only wasn't he very stylish, but he was downright scruffy. Well, he used to meet up with Enoch every Friday night at the Bull and Bladder down the Delve. And, well, Enoch had enough of it. No one night, he says to him, Eli, unless you're smarting yourself up, I ain't going to drink with you anymore. Well, this upset Eli. So the very next morning, he was down in Stourbridge on the bus. He got off the bus and he looked around, and there he saw, never seen it before, there was this little shop stuck between two of these new boutiques that were sprouting up everywhere. And he says, tailor's shop, bespoke suits for any occasion, 5 guineas. I thought, that'll do me. In he pops. Little Jewish fella, you know, the skull cap and a singer sewing machine. And he says, I want one of them suits. He said, oh, okay. So he's measured him. It should take a long while, taking all these measurements. And then he said, right, he says, I've got all the measurements. He says, now is it for a special occasion, like a wedding or something? He says, now it's to go drinking with Enoch. So he wrote that down, drinking suit. He says, when will it be ready? He says, next Friday afternoon, come back, it'll be ready. So, next Friday, he picks his suit up. And when Enoch went in the pub that night and he saw his mate Eli at the bar, he couldn't believe how smart he looked. And, well, they had a few drinks, and then Eli went off to answer a call to nature. And as he's coming back, Enoch looked at him and said, Eli, he says, there's something wrong with them trousers. He said, that one leg is shorter than the other. He says, you're right, he says, I'll have to go and see that tailor. So he goes down the next day to this tailor's shop. He says, this leg's, you know, the trouser leg's shorter than that. He says, come on, he says, what do you do when you go in the pub? He said, well, I walks up to the bar and I puts my foot on that brass rail that runs round the bottom like that and orders me pint. He said, well, there you are, look. It's perfect. He says, that's what it is. It's a drinking suit. That's what you wanted. That's what it's for. So, anyway, the next week, Enoch walks in the pub and there was Eli leaning on the bar. And he's, oh, he looks smart in his new suit. Anyway, they had a couple of drinks and off. Eli goes out the back. And when he come back, he says, I've just noticed that one sleeve's longer than the other. He said, oh, you're right. I have to go and see that tailor again. So he goes down to the tailor. He says, this suit, he said, look at it. He says, this sleeve's longer than the other. He says, what do you do when you go in the pub? He said, well, I go to the bar. I put my foot on the rail. Oh, right. He says, and then I've called for my pint. I put my pint down. He said, the yuan is perfect. That's how it's supposed to be. It's a drinking suit. That's what you order. Okay. So the next week, Enoch goes in the pub and looks, oh, blimey, I can't get over how smart Eli is. He goes off out the back again. And he's walking away, he looks at him, he comes back, he says, hey, let's just turns round, he says, what's the matter? He said, well, there's all this loose material here, so look at it, he said, it don't fit at all. I'm going to have to go back and sort that tailor out. So the next day he's down there, he says, look at this lot here, he says, come on, let's get it right, he says. What do you do when you go in the pub? He says, put your foot on the rail. He says, I want to be pint. Yeah, he says, put my pint. Great. He said, then what do you do? He says, well then, I sort of slumped into that really comfortable position. He says, well, you have look, he says, it's perfect. He says, that's what it is, a drinking suit. He says, yeah, but he says, this is all very well when I'm at the bar. He says, but it ain't right when I'm walking around, when I go to the toilet. And I tell him, well, all I can do is that you'll keep that position, I'll assume that position. So The next week, in the bar, there's Eli looking smart, a couple of pints. He's there in his comfortable position. But he had to go to the loo, so it's going. Like this. These two old ladies sitting in the corner. The one said to the other, says, "Do you feel sorry for that poor chap there?" I said, "I do." I said, "But I've got to admire the cut of his clothes." I said, that suit fits into a glove.